talk. Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs. Coming straight off the leash. She kill them all like the Reaper. I need a girl like MEKA. She jumping out the gym on all them hoes. Shorty came straight out the bleachers. Ayy, she the baddest. Ayy, that girl too bad. Ayy, she came through with the combo. Cause shorty too lavish. Ayy, that girl she the baddest. Ayy, that girl too bad. Ayy, look, she came straight with the combo. Ayy, look, let me talk my talk. Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs. Coming straight off the leash. She kill them all like the Reaper. I need a girl like MEKA. She jumping out the gym on all them hoes. Shorty came straight out the bleachers. Ayy, she the baddest. Ayy, that girl too bad. Ayy, she came through with the combo. Cause shorty too lavish. Ayy, that girl she the baddest. Ayy, that girl too bad. Ayy, look, she came straight with the combo. Ayy, look, let me talk my talk. Let me speak my piece. It's for all my dogs. Coming straight off the leash. She kill them all like the Reaper. I need a girl like MEKA. She jumping out the gym on all them hoes. Shorty came straight out the bleachers. Ayy, she the baddest. Ayy, that girl too bad. Ayy, she came through with the combo.
Welcome to another episode of From the DMV Live with MEKA. I'm your host, MEKA. Thanks for joining me. So this week has been a great week, definitely. I've had a lot of interesting opportunities, and I've had the, of course, wonderful blessing to meet many people and exchange information and ideas and positive vibes with great people all over the place. This past weekend, if you didn't have the opportunity, you definitely should have checked out Art All Night. It was a great experience that was down at the MLK Library. I went down on Saturday. I had a great time. I'm going to put some highlights on my page, so make sure you check those out later. I also had the great opportunity. I don't know if you all heard me last week, so this week I wanted to go ahead and highlight him again. His name is Austin Hankins, a young man who was in an accident, unfortunately, in Virginia. And at 16 years old, I'll let him actually tell the story because I went out and spoke to him at the hospital. So here's a quick little video of me speaking with Austin. Check it out. Yeah. Hey, you guys, it's MEKA with Lavish Conversations. I'm here on site with Austin Hankins.
Howdy.
Austin is a story of triumph in himself, just an inspiration who didn't even know he was going to be an inspiration, did you, huh?
No, I honestly had no idea.
So August the 21st, you had a traumatic experience. Just give us a little quick rundown. What happened?
So the driver, he was speeding like really, really fast. And, well, you know what? Let me start from like what happened.
Okay.
We went from a Taco Bell. We did donuts in that parking lot. Then we drove down 17, turned on the Poplar, and he sped past this white car. And the girl that was in the back started screaming, "Cop, cop, 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 cop." And the guy sped up. He reached 120 miles an hour, overcorrected, and it ended up with us in a tree and split in three.
Oh my goodness. And Austin, somebody who has been towering over people at 6'7" as the big friendly giant for 16 years now, right?
Yeah.
How did it feel to have to experience such a tragedy and then to try to now experience your new normal that you're dealing with?
I'm gonna be 6'7" again. Once I get my prosthetics, I'll be 6'7" again. And
what do you have to do for your prosthetics?
in 6 to 8 weeks after my last surgery, they'll start fitting me for my prosthetics.
Now, in this last month, how many surgeries have you had to have?
16.
16 surgeries in 1 month. How do you stay positive?
Just knowing that I get to get out of here.
And what do you want to do when you get out of here?
Go eat at a restaurant, sit down.
And ultimately, career-wise, what do you want to do for us?
Firefighting. I want to be a firefighter. I want to be Virginia's first double amputee firefighter.
That's amazing and definitely attainable. Now, where can people go support you?
So I have a Facebook group called Austin's Journey, the BFG. There's an
not an OnlyFans, but on Facebook. You can go find Austin on Austin's Journey, the BFG.
There's a GoFundMe on there.
Yes, and support his GoFundMe, definitely. Make sure you check it out and make sure you definitely support Austin's Journey and be an encouragement yourself and an inspiration yourself as you experience whatever it is you may be dealing with, because I'm certain it might not quite be as heavy as Austin's journey right now. Wouldn't you say so, Austin?
No, but still, I mean, however small your journey is, you gotta move past it, do better than it.
Definitely. And no matter who you are, I hope you're having a great day. I hope you continue to be the best you that you can be, because there's literally nobody out here better suited for that job. And I'll talk to you next time. Thanks. Hey you guys, it's Mika with Lack. Please make sure you go out and check out Austin's Journey and support him. Facebook, again, is Austin's Journey, the BFG, Big Friendly Giant. And he definitely is a big friendly giant. Make sure you send out your prayers, your positive energy, and kind thoughts and feelings just towards him, definitely. He's doing a great job. All right, so my guest this week is a definite honor. I met her initially at an event that I went to meet the ambassador of El Salvador. And she came up to me and we had a great conversation there. And then actually the senior Miss Virginia reached out to me with her on the phone again about her and her initiatives and our activism and everything that she's doing. So I thought it would be great, as we are approaching election season, to have a very knowledgeable, very capable person in place to answer some of our questions, and just get some further insight as we're preparing to not just exercise our right, but exercise our right in an informed and intelligible manner. Yes. Okay. Yes. So my guest today is an entrepreneur. She is a media host. She is a political activist. She is an elected official, a mentor, a member of the Montgomery County Republican Committee, sorry. And she is also a member of the National Federation of Republican Women as well. She is the founder of Voices of Black Conservative Women, and she is active in the Trump 2024 campaign. And so therefore, I feel like she's a great person to answer questions for us today. Yeah. All right. I would formally like to welcome to the stage Miss Delores Reyes.
Hello. How are you?
Welcome.
I'm glad to be here. It's good to be with someone like you who's so uplifting and spiritual in thought.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I try to definitely maintain my open-mindedness. I try to maintain my spirituality. Let me make sure everybody can hear us in the chat. Are we good over here? Let's see. Before we get into our questions and everything, let's just give me 1 second here while we're checking the chat. All right, great. So we're good over here. Now, we have some games that we play on my show, as I told you. So just to loosen you up a bit, I think a game is always a good thing to start with.
Oh my God!
So the first game, hold on, let's move TikTok so they can see us both. So my first game is going to be Name That Tune. All right, now I kept it pretty easy on you. I hope. I hope. But remember, it's a game, and if you get it wrong, don't feel bad. All right. Okay. All right. The first question is. Oh well, wait. Let's do the intro for Name That Tune. I have a little intro that I do for all of my.
That's good.
All right. So for Name That Tune, our first question is: so, if you need a hand and there's a load that you need to bear that you can't carry, what should you do?
Oh my goodness. I know this. I know the words, but I'm not exactly sure. What should I do?
You want me to give you the tune more? A little more?
Yes, give me a little tune.
Okay, a little bit more. So if there is a load that you have to bear that you can't carry, what should you do? You should just
Call on me.
Brother. Yes, just call me. That's right. Just call me. That's
Call
right.
me.
Excellent. Excellent. See, not too bad, right?
So bad.
Okay. Okay. So my next one is, if I think there's something wrong with my line, who should I call? There's something wrong with my line. Who should I call?
Jesus?
No, that's okay. So that's the real right answer. Yes, that's the real answer. Yes, but for the song, it was Mr. Telephone Man.
Okay.
There's something wrong with my line. New
Okay.
edition. Okay, so the next one is, if it's quiet as when flowers talk in the break of dawn, what is it?
Give me a beat.
Quiet as when flowers talk in break of dawn, break of dawn. Dun, 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 dun,
I'm going to
dun,
make a
dun,
wild
dun.
guess and say, I'm going to make a wild guess. I'm going to say in the break of dawn to see you in the morning or something
Dun,
like that.
dun, 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 dun.
What's so funny?
Quiet storm.
A quiet storm?
Blowing. Yeah. Yes, that's what they say in the quiet storm.
Is that the quiet storm? Okay. Let me just say this. I'm not too musically inclined. I don't listen to a lot of certain different kinds of music.
Yeah.
So I've never kind of heard this song that you just.
I think you're doing great for you to not be a musical
See
person.
how wonderful she is.
I definitely do. We only have two more. Let's see.
Okay, oh go on.
You can get through it. I promise.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. It's the end of the party, and we're all going to leave, but not before what? Before Before I let you go.
Go away. Go before you go home. Before you go.
Yeah, before I let you go. All right, one more.
God,
You're
I've
doing
never
great.
heard
You're
of
being
these
a great
songs
sport
ever.
here.
Oh God.
Okay, so if there's plenty of love and everything, and you're listening to the people sing, what's probably in the air?
Love, magic, say so. I don't know. I'm using words that I'm thinking. Come on,
Taylor
help
said
me
not
out.
a wild guess. So what's in the air is happy feelings.
Happy
feelings.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness, happy feelings. Okay, guys. I know I'm not the best at this, but I tried. I tell you, I really
I
did
think
try.
you did a wonderful job.
Oh.
Thanks for playing my game.
Okay.
All right, now into our questions.
Okay, let's talk.
Okay,
Let's talk politics. Okay.
yes, and everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's talk all things Delores.
Okay.
So, what song holds the most meaning for you in your life, and why?
That's a toughie. You know what? When I'm walking in the park and I listen to Pandora, I listen to Beyonce when she said, "And you can't break my soul."
Oh, I love that. Yes, you can't break my
You
soul.
can't break my soul.
And why, if we had to ask that question?
And yeah, the reason why is it's so uplifting. Like I'm not going to give up.
Yes.
No matter what happens, what you do, what you say, where you go, where you don't want me to go, you won't break my soul.
Yes, I love that. Definitely. That's
Yes.
a great answer. You
Yes.
won't break my soul.
Oh.
No. That's right. A mantra, even.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a mantra.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, okay. So tell us, who was little Delores?
Who was?
Who was little Delores?
Okay. I'm gonna tell you a secret that I don't normally tell everybody.
Okay.
My full name is Teresa Delores Nusan Reyes.
Okay.
Okay. And my father came from Cuba.
Okay.
So-
Awesome.
So it's Afro like Cabuna.
Afro-Cubana?
Cubana.
Yes.
So when I was little, I'm from Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And I always loved to do hair.
Okay.
And my grandmother goes, "That's crap. You're going to have to go off to college." So that's what happened.
That sounds funny because I used to want to do hair.
Yeah, I used to love to style hair and do all sorts of things. And my grandmother was like, "Oh no, that's not going to work. You're going to have to go to college," which I did, and so forth and so on. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. So tell me, what is the funniest memory that you have in your life, right? That you can, even to this day, you just can't help but feel a little bubble of joy from it, no matter what's going on?
Meeting my husband.
Meeting your husband.
Yeah.
Tell me a little more. What did you
Ironically enough, I have traveled a lot in the world, so I just came from Europe. I went to the Alliance Française in Cap France. I went to school there,
Uh-huh.
and so I had just gotten home, and my husband's Latin American. He came up to me and so forth and so on, and I wasn't interested in him at all. But about a month after that, I was walking down the street in Adams, Oregon, getting ready to go somewhere with a friend, and time stopped. And a voice said to me, when he walks up to you, give him your phone number. This is your husband.
Before he walked up?
Before he walked up. By the time I came out of the trance, he was this close to me.
Oh, wow.
God is good all the time.
All the time. Yes, you better say that, Miss Delores. Yeah, that
Yes.
is a word.
Yes.
That's a word.
Yes.
Okay.
We've been married for 32 years.
32 years?
Yes.
That's a testament. Definitely. Definitely. So tell me, was political activism always the dream?
Yes, I would say I have always been very active in politics and very interested in the construct. From about the age of 12 or 13. When I was in college, I was head of the college Republicans. And my mother would take me to polls with her and so forth and so on. So, yes, I have always had an interest and a love for politics. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so was it your mom that awakened that dream in you, or what exactly awakened that dream?
I think it's a plethora of constructs from in my family.
That made you interested?
Yes, be very interested in it. Why, who, what, when, where, how did we get here, what's going on? Yes.
Okay. And so tell me, can you share the most successful or notable, rather, success story that you have in your journey thus far?
I think it's when I started my business. I have a business called Government Therapy Services, and we provided speech and language pathology services, occupational therapy services.
Wait, what's the name of it again?
Government Therapy Services.
Okay.
And we were providers of speech and language pathologists, occupational therapists, and physical therapists, IEPs, and educational evaluations. So my clients were District of Columbia Public Schools, Montgomery County Public Schools, Philadelphia Public Schools, and I had an adult side, which I had contracts with the Department of Defense. Department of Defense, Walter Reed Medical Centers.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think because of the children,
Mm-hmm.
and I began to see how soldiers and children with disabilities,
Mm-hmm.
they're very special people.
Mhm.
And I think that our society is not very good to them. They can be better,
Mm-hmm.
much better,
Mm-hmm.
because they need so much. And then
Yeah.
you meet some children who are disabled, who are gifted.
Yeah.
I mean, with IQs that you would not believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing.
Yes.
Definitely. So tell me, what's the best advice you've ever received, work-wise or personal? The best advice, period.
I think, let me go back to never give up.
Never give up.
Never give up.
Okay.
Never give up. No
And
matter
who did
what
that come
happens,
from?
how it probably came from someone at the university.
Mhm.
I went to University of Dayton for graduate and undergraduate school, but I went to law school in California. But I'm just saying that just never give up.
Right.
I mean, this university I went to was only 100 Black people out of 8,000 students,
Mm-hmm.
and I became the vice president of the student body of that university.
Oh, that is awesome.
And just never give up.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's great advice. I think that's advice that we all should take note
Yes.
of, definitely, no matter what your circumstance. So can you tell me of a time that you might have experienced when, life always is lifing, as we say. And so when life really lifed on you, and instead of just playing possum, as we might be inclined or might be easiest to do, or giving up, of course, you kept pressing forward. And where did you find your source or your strength?
From my mother and father.
Okay, and what happened?
Well, my
Or can
father
you
used to
share?
be a detective, so it was imperative that we kept moving forward, no matter how hard the path may have been or would be. That you were supposed to hold your head up
Mm-hmm.
and move forward and never let people get you down.
Can you tell us of a time when you felt like you were having a hard time keeping your head up, or where that was a challenge and you had to tap into that really,
Of course, I've had challenges. Of course, I mean, having your own business when 15 years when I first started out,
Yeah.
it was a challenge. It was a challenge in that even though you had contracts,
Mhm.
the federal government and school systems don't pay you on time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
they take 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say you have $100,000 worth of dollars that you have to pay your staff with.
Right.
I would say to myself, you know what, I'm going to make this happen no matter what. And I learned how to factor my contracts.
Right. Okay, that makes a definite difference.
Yes,
Right?
and yes, it made it so that I could pay my staff in spite of the fact, or instead of the fact that 90 days,
Mhm.
they're 90 days behind paying you.
Right. Yeah. And how are you supposed to live in that type of
Well, I
circumstance?
learned how to factor the contract and got enough capabilities to get a lifeline, a person to help me finance those things.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So tell me, what inspired you to align with the Republican Party, and how has your personal journey rather, shaped your political beliefs?
Good. I'm glad you said that. My parents all came from Republican sides of the aisle,
Mhm.
so it was like I was going down this path and I knew it. But one of the things that I began to realize is that we as a people,
Mhm.
we've been told a lot of things that a lot of people don't deliver.
Uh-huh. Okay. For example,
Just
say
about
more words.
everything. For just about everything, and we're so dedicated. And then I began to realize
As a
that.
people, you mean?
Pardon?
You said we're so dedicated as a people.
Yeah, we as a people are
Mhm.
very dedicated,
Mhm.
and we're enamored with the fact that people who look like us are moving forward.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that they can't move forward too. And they're not giving in my opinion, our
Mhm.
people the right pathway to get from point A to B. I think they're off message. They're on message, but they're off point.
Off on message, but off point.
There you go.
Sorry.
I think they're all off point. That's okay.
At least we know we have volume, though, right?
That's
a good thing.
We have volume.
So you said you think they're on. Somebody said Trump for president. So there's definitely people on both sides of the fence here. So with regard to them being in place or on point, but on the wrong
Path.
on the wrong path, give me a little more specificity. Like, can you give me more?
Absolutely, it's still the same. It hasn't changed. We're downtrodden. We're underserved. People are trying to bring in illegal aliens or replace us. We have all sorts of crime. Our our children are behind in just about everything. When it came to social services,
right.
We are the ones that appear to be in most need. I mean,
Mhm.
we have been promised everything and no one has delivered. And I think it's about time that we got our just reward.
Okay, so somebody in the chat said with regards to replacing us in what way do you mean? I guess.
Illegal aliens are taking your jobs. My husband, who's a Latin American, came home one day and said to me, "Honey, there are no black people at the construction site." And I said, the obvious. They're being displaced. He goes, yes, they are. He was not a happy camper.
So why do you think that that's happening? So when illegal aliens are coming over, which has always been the case. I mean, that's been for forever. But so why do you think they're able to take our jobs or take jobs?
Because they're going to they do it for less money. For example, a person that I know works at a supermarket, a big one, and a large chain.
Mm-hmm.
She makes like maybe $20 an hour, and the illegal alien makes $11.
So where do you think the real root of that problem comes from? The real root of the problem of the
Well, our
positions being
problems that we endure so embedded throughout time. It's a construct that moves forward in time and place. And we as a people are the persons that's always standing still while time is moving forward.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So were there any key moments that you would say have solidified your Republican ideals, not just currently, but over your lifetime?
Well, I've been a political appointee for the Reagan administration. I'm an elected official in the party. I have always had my roots, just like I said, in college. I was the president of the Republican, citizens, not citizens, but students at the university.
As a political activist, just wondering, kind of offhand, a little place, not offhand, but just kind of wondering, what's the biggest accomplishment that you've had with regard to your activism, would you say?
I think the knowledge base that I needed to understand and what caused me to be this way. Because somebody right now, a person who's running for office, asked me, well, what is he supposed to do? And I said, you have to walk the walk. And this is a Caucasian person says, well, what is that? I said, you just can't say things. You have to show stuff. You have to walk down the street and see how Black people are being treated. You have to see them in their tent. You have to talk to them while they're laying in the grass. You have to talk to them and show them that they don't have enough food or that there's drugs all over the place. You have to walk the walk. And if you can't do that, then I'm sorry for you, you're not going to win.
Let's see. Kiki said, that's true. My husband was making good money at Steam Fitter. The illegal migrants started working. And the migrants started working and they wanted to pay my husband $15 an hour. Absolutely crazy. They are replacing Black workers in some fields. Yes, that's definitely terrible. Definitely. I think that a lot of people, this is the question that I find a lot of people talking about and a lot of different opinions on as far as why it's happening, what the root cause is, and what we need to do to create change in that area.
Send them home.
Hold on. You said send them home. Well, how exactly, even if we did that, how would we go about sending them home, though?
Ironically enough, this is very interesting. I'm so glad you brought this up. Interesting enough, Barack Obama deported 2.3 million of them, and my brother-in-law was one of them that was deported. So it can be done.
So we are able to deport people.
Yes,
as well.
that definitely, because you're not vetting them. You don't know. This is the thing that really gets to me. We can't find 300,000 children who've crossed this border. This current administration has done nothing to try to say, okay, Jose, is Juan your son? And if so, where's your DNA? Let's do your DNA test.
Oh, you mean like when you see these children in these homes, as opposed to verifying or
coming across the border, coming across, not in a home. They're not in a home yet. Coming in across the border. They are being sex trafficked all over the place. There's 300,000 of them that are missing.
That have come over to the U.S. and gone missing. That's terrible.
And there's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, and they're being sex trafficked. Do you know the United States is the largest sex trafficking entity in the world? China has $1.5 billion. India has $1.4 billion, not dollars, persons. And subsequently, we have about 400,000 people, and we're the sex trafficking entity of the world.
Yeah, aren't we like the capital of it?
Yeah, there we are.
Yeah, that's terrible, definitely. So how would you respond to those who may question your political affiliation due to your identity as a Black woman?
I don't allow people to question me. I don't allow it. I tell them instantly, My ancestors and yours have been through living hell, and we've had people tell us what to do and how to do it and what not to do and what not to say and what. Well, that's not going to happen here. I'm not going to talk to you. It's my right. It's my prerogative. I started singing it. It's my prerogative. I don't have to answer any of your questions. I'm
That's
leaving.
a very good point.
Absolutely.
That's a very good point. I mean, who can really argue with Bobby Brown? But honestly, seriously, who can argue with that? You do have your own prerogative, and we all have our own minds and
Absolutely.
our own. We should all be open-minded, which is why we're having this conversation, so that people who do and don't agree or know even are able to ask the questions they may have, find out more information, know both sides, and then make an informed decision. So Virginia also said accountability is important to stop sex trafficking. I agree wholeheartedly, not just abroad, but in the U.S., period. In the U.S., maybe if it wasn't such a hot commodity, then maybe people wouldn't be missing so often.
Have sex
not
with
just
children.
Yeah, having sex with children maybe should be frowned upon a little more, right? Just period within our environment, our culture. I mean, I thought it was already something that was very frowned upon, but as people are being uncovered every day, as we're hearing more and more news stories, and some of our faves are popping on the news. I mean, I can't say I'd be shocked, tomorrow at who might make the headlines. God forbid, though. But yeah, I'm sure that is a very big issue when it comes to the situation where a child may not be able to speak the language and, is being taken somewhere else, as opposed to just being taken, to other areas in the same country. I speak the language at least. I don't speak the language in another country. Let's see. Taylor asked, what aspects of the Republican Party appeal to you outside of being disappointed by the lack of follow through from the other side?
That is the center of one of the reasons why.
One moment.
There must be a reason why that they tell us X and we end up with 0.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one of the primary constructs that I'm concerned about. I want our people to move forward. I don't want other people to take their jobs. I don't want them to be in poverty. I don't want them to kill each other. I don't want them to walk the walk alone. Mm-hmm. I want these people that our people constantly, consistently keep voting for. I want action from them. If they can't give it to me, then we're going to come up with one.
Okay. All right. And Kiki said she wants to know again, how many people did President Obama deport?
2.5 million.
You said how many again?
2.5 million.
2.5 million people. So she said it can be done. Now, what about the Save Our Girls congressional bill? Have you heard anything about anything like this?
No, I have not.
What about something like that? Wouldn't it be a great idea?
To save girls?
A congressional bill to save our girls, yes.
What would that mean by save our girls?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I don't understand. Save our girls. What does that mean?
With regard to the sex trafficking, you know what I mean? With that aspect.
Okay, okay. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
The sex trafficking is for doesn't fit into.
Mm-hmm.
So the line of demarcation should be for us, male and female, both of us, our communities.
So maybe save our children or our people, because
it's not even just children. It's our people.
Yeah, so save our people.
There you go. Save our people.
Yeah. So what about that? What will we need to do to? Oh wait, there is a congressional bill currently on the Hill for approval. That's what Virginia said for sex trafficking. Do you know about that bill already?
No, I don't. Do you know who read it?
Do you know who wrote the bill, Virginia? Let us know in the chat if you know. But yeah, we'll definitely touch base on that. I think that's very important.
Yeah, very important.
And I think it's too often pushed under the rug, and we're always asking the other questions like what that are not necessarily relevant to preventing or healing or the victims.
Don't you think it's
from existing?
Don't you think it's odd that it's being done 1 month before the election?
Which part of the bill you mean?
Yes.
That does sound very interesting.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Let's throw them in after the fact. Oops, we didn't get past Congress.
Here we go. It's sponsored by Representative Wilson Frederica. What does it say? SDFL-24.
Political affiliation?
Yeah, let me post it up here so people can see it on the screen there at the bottom in case they're interested in looking into it further. But hopefully it does get passed. That would be good.
Yeah,
And
let's just hope. Let's hope and pray, because we know that. Don't you remember about maybe 2 years ago or 3 years ago that a lot of Black kids in Southeast were missing?
Yeah.
Well, then how come they didn't do it then?
That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about, there are a lot of,
they actually have proof in the pudding here in Washington, D.C., where the laws are made. How come they didn't do it then? Yeah, they just chose to do it. They chose to do it 30 days before the election.
That is a good question. So tell me, speaking on that level, on that in that vein, what do you see as the most misunderstood aspects of being a Black conservative in America today?
I don't see any problems with it. I don't see
the misconceptions. You don't think there are any misconceptions? No.
This is America. There's no such animal as a misconception. This is America. I'm supposed to can do what I want.
You're supposed to be, right?
Yeah, no, I'm going to do it.
Like that whole freedom of speech thing?
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. You're not going to relegate me back to the plantation, because that's not going to happen.
I love that. All right, it's time for another game. I think you'll like this game a little more too. Because this game is a little more along, I think, maybe things that you might know just off the top of your head.
Okay,
but it's called When I Visit the DMV. So it's about the
Welcome to DC. You know where you go after you take out. Welcome to DC.
All right. So, welcome to DC. So, in DC, there's plenty of walking to do. And even when you're not downtown, but if you're tired and you're not downtown, this seat is the biggest one around town.
Street?
Biggest seat.
Seat?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, let me see.
Landmarks are what we're thinking of.
I love the Martin Luther King statue. Now, it doesn't have a seat.
Welcome to DC.
Whoops. Okay. Hold on. You said you love the Martin Luther King seat. Yes.
And Lincoln.
Yeah, but this one is the biggest seat around town. Do you know? Any idea?
Which one is bigger than Lincoln's? Which
it's
one?
The big chair. It's not downtown. That was the clue.
Okay.
The real hint was that it wasn't downtown. No, it's yes. You live in Maryland. You said, well, these are all DC. Okay. So, all right. The next one is now. I bet you'll get this. Okay. All right. I'm willing to bet money on you on this one, and I don't gamble.
Okay.
So I'm standing in a domed building, looking around, eyes wide, and I see representatives all on one side. Where am I?
Congress, of course.
That's perfect answer. I don't have applause, but that's what it would sound like. All right, the next one is, the lines in this museum are long day and night, but from the front of the line in the cafe, the back is out of sight. So they have long lines in the cafe that are even longer than the lines to get in the museum. Where could that be?
The only place I can really think of is that famous hot dogs.
There's one in a museum? Wait a minute.
You're saying it's in the museum.
Yeah, I'm saying in the
how
museum.
about the African American Museum? Yeah.
Good answer. Yeah, their cafe is awesome.
Yeah, everybody wants to go there. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Last one. Last one. So, if I'm downtown and I take a seat on this chair, and it says 77 years ago, whose lap am I sitting on?
7. How many years?
If I go downtown, I take a seat on this chair, and the chair says 77 years ago on it, whose lap am I sitting on? You know the answer.
Do I?
I know you know.
Oh, yeah. All right. But you're going to have to give me a hint.
You want to know how I know you know the answer?
Because I said it already.
You said it already. I'm Lincoln Lab. Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah. The Gettysburg Address.
Yeah.
Four score. I should have said it like that. 4 score.
Yeah.
7 years ago. Yeah. Then you'd know. So tell me, where are you from, Delores? And what's the best part of where you grew up?
I'm from Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up in the suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
And, I left home when I was how old are you supposed to? I was 17 or 18.
Mm-hmm.
But I had fun times. We were members of the Boys and Girls Club of America.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got a chance to do a lot of very interesting things. And I was a Girl Scout too.
Oh,
that
that's
was
awesome.
Really strange.
I love the Girl Scouts. Shout out to Girl Scouts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of really good friends and things like that. It was difficult when I went off to go to college. They did not. It was just very different.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed my time in Philadelphia.
What was the best part?
Growing
up, that one thing, that best part.
I guess my family members.
Your family?
Yeah, my family.
I love that. That's solid, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. Shout out to the family. So what do you say, or from your perspective, what's the biggest community crisis that's facing the DMV?
There's so many things impacting the DMV. There's a lot of crime in the whole place. And I think something has to be done. Mm-hmm. But I think our people are the ones that are feeling brunt of it, even though my husband's people do too. Mm-hmm. It's like the ghetto and the barrio, and now we know Appalachia, they all have issues, and they're the same kind of issue.
Right, yeah.
So there's a lot of things that have got to be done here in order to get us on the right path.
I would agree.
On the right path. Yes.
I would agree, definitely. So what are some of the ideas that you have as far as what things we need to get really focus in on?
I think we need better education,
mm-hmm.
and that we should have the opportunity to revitalize the neighborhoods that they've lived in for so long, and they should be subsidized.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want Zelensky of the Ukraine getting $60 billion every time he comes here.
Mm-hmm.
How come we don't get any of it?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, it's just, I think the priorities of our country are kind of screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why nobody wants to go in the military. Nobody wants to be a police officer. Nobody wants to. It's because what are we going to get for it?
Mm-hmm.
He can just walk in here and get $60 billion every time he comes.
Right.
Screw that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So tell me, how do you feel about the current state of race relations in America? And what role do you think that conservative politics play in it?
Number one, because everybody's so compartmentalized,
mm-hmm.
it's hard to talk about race.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things going on.
Mm-hmm.
The construct of race has changed so much. A lot of us are multiracial.
Yeah.
Even Kamala Harris. Everybody thought, well, wait a minute, what is she? And she started telling people, oh, she was Indian. And wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So it's different. Mm-hmm. Our society is evolving in another direction.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not racially motivated. It's motivated by something else.
Do you think that while we are, mostly everybody is becoming more and more, multiracial,
mm-hmm.
definitely, and we're seeing, more often than not, I'd say even, what do you think about, how do you feel about the current plight of the African American people, and how do you feel like that is evolving with that situation even?
We're evolving with it because of the school system.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the school system, look who's in it.
Mm-hmm.
In D.C., it used to be predominantly Black, and it's not that way anymore. And in Maryland and Virginia, it's the same way. And languages are all over the place.
Yeah.
They're all different kinds of people. So that construct of, Black, white, that no longer exists. It's becoming, it's evolving, it's not existing.
Okay, yes.
It's evolving, it's not existing.
So what do you think that does though to the people? Because there will still always be Black people. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think?
There will always be Black people. We've always been Black people since time. We are the original people.
Right.
So we begot them.
Right. Exactly.
There you go.
So what do you say to the people that feel like we experience a different level of disenfranchisement than other races?
Well, we have gone through a lot of levels of disenfranchisement, from slavery and all, you know, and now we're going through a different kind of metamorphosis of who are we really? I mean, are we still Black?
Right.
You know what I mean? Before it was an easy construct, but because of multiculturalism, it's a different construct now. But I do think that we will still have our roots, and the construct of humans will be broader than it is than it was in the past.
Yeah. So do you think, I know there have been many times in our history, of course, that we've experienced that bubble of that racial divide and that bubble of the violence or the animosity, I would say, the separation that really is created. And more often than not, it comes around election time. So how do you speak to that, or how can you speak to that?
I don't know. I just don't understand why we're so violent with each other. I don't understand why. It has to be, there is a reason why. And I don't know that reason. And I think we aren't having, or we don't have enough philosophers and intellectuals to give us why. Why is this happening? Right. Why are we trying to kill each other? What's going on up here with us that we feel that we're not worthy to live? I don't get it.
Or taking care of ourselves in the way that we need to even. So tell me, have you ever, well, I'm sure you have, but that's presumptuous.
Yeah.
So tell me about a time that you may have experienced racism directly in or outside of the work environment, and how did you deal with it, especially if it was within the work environment?
Recently I was at I go to a lot of artsy fartsy things. So I was at the National Gallery of Art, and a Black man who was, I guess he was one of the guards or whatever, he just walked up to me and said, "Hello." I said, "I know that construct." I said, "I understand what you just did. You're telling you it's a subtle way of saying I'm watching you, because all these other white people just walk by." I said, "No, this isn't going to work. The head of Smithsonian is a Black man. He's Black.
Yeah.
I guess he's been in this position for about 2 or 3 years now." And I told the person that said that to me, I said, "I can make you lose your job." I said, "You don't do that to Black people, okay?"
And what was the response?
He got really quiet. Because I'm not a nice person. I'm nice, but I'm not a nice person.
I live in that same construct myself. I must say, I just made a video the other day that we use that friend word way too loosely. You know? Just saying, everybody is not an agent for good. Some people are, for evil or negativity, whether they want to be or not.
Color, he said, "I shouldn't be there." I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah. So tell me how. Oh wait, we already did that one. Sorry. So how do you engage and connect with the Black communities, especially those who might not share the same political views as yourself, but you still want to help? You still engage, of course. You are still.
My family's divided straight down the middle. Okay, so we don't have to have other people.
Like the Cowboys and the Commanders.
We have our own families. We're on totally different sides of the proverbial aisle. So, okay, so what we've done is make a truce that we won't talk politics at the dinner table. You know what I mean? But we will just stand down.
I love that. I love that.
You can be you and I can be me. And if you don't like what I do, well, that's tough in the case.
So it makes Thanksgiving way more doable, I'd say, right?
Absolutely.
So instead you just fight over football like regular families?
That's right. Just fell off the drumstick.
Right over the wishbone and all that.
There you go, and the mashed potatoes.
So with regards, how do you give back to your community?
I get back to our community, I think, in my beliefs, in my religion, and my interests, in what they are trying to do and where are we going. And I want to be a part of the positive, moving forward, going forward construct. I don't want us to be behind. I want us to be forward and in front.
Yes, definitely. So, do you have advice for other people who would like to support their community or make a difference in their community?
I think there should be pockets, maybe a place, maybe there should be a house where everybody person can go to and kind of talk with each other. That we parents have a capacity to learn how to help their sons and daughters to be able to communicate without being violent with one another. I think we need to be trained in a different way, like how to answer something negative, what to do under those conditions. Why do you want to knock me in the head and beat me up? I mean, what did I do to you? You need to kind of have a conversation, to learn how to do this a different way.
Yeah, that's probably a great idea, like a class in communication or in diffusing.
Yeah, right in the neighborhood. Have a house that's decorated nice and everybody can sit down and the two rivals can sit and talk to each other. Why I'm this way to you and you this way to me. Not just one place, but in several different places in Southeast and other parts of DMV.
So you mean more like a mediator type of situation?
Yeah, to teach them how to mediate.
I think it would be really good. What do you think about like an idea of having like a class in school, like a mandatory class that teaches, not just people in certain neighborhoods, but everybody how to communicate? Because road rage and stuff like that, like all of these people who don't know how to handle conflicts, and it seems like many more of our children are growing up with lacking that ability also, or that skill, handling conflict, without violence or erupting or stepping out of their space.
How do you control something that's unpleasant to you? What do you do? How do you do it? And I think that our school system people don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I think they should be trained.
Yes, also. They have to be trained.
But so next, that brings me to this. So what do you think about the situation, or what did you think about the situation that happened on January 6th with the Capitol? What was your take on that and how that was handled?
They were just set up. I mean, it was one man outside telling them all to go inside.
Telling all of the people?
At the rally, it was 300,000 people. So a group of people, it was all the way down. So persons that I know were in front of like the Warner Theater, but everything else was happening up at the Capitol. So the people that at the Warner Theater and at that part of Pennsylvania Avenue, they didn't know what was going on up there. So
but how did you feel when you heard about everything that had unfolded?
Once we got to the actual facts of what happened, I'm thinking that was totally a setup. Donald Trump actually said prior to the marching, we are going to have a peaceful march. He actually said it. You can see it. Go when you get a chance, kind of look at the beginning of before them started marching towards the Capitol. And then there was this one man who kept saying, no, you need to go into the Capitol. You need to go into the Capitol. See the real facts. Take a look at it.
You'll definitely have to send me that, because everything I saw said like the opposite.
That's because it's in the media.
Yeah, I just saw the opposite. I saw people like out of control, and a lot of people with a lack of problem solving like skills.
But the thing was so ironic to me was that being a Republican, we already understand that the media is not going to be kind,
right?
So we have to always. So what we always do is go back and look at the reality, not the one that they edited out or not the one that they wanted it to look like. But we actually go and see. Yeah, I'll have to show you. I'll have to get someone to show you what really happened at January the 6th.
Definitely. Yeah, I would love to see that. Yeah. And then we have Daniel said a setup by who? like who created the setup, I guess. Who was behind it?
Well, let me tell you how things transpired. Nancy Pelosi was called, and so was the mayor of DC. They were asked, do you want police officers, et cetera, there? And they said no.
At the rally.
Yes, at the in front around the Capitol. No, they didn't want those services. So once we found out that they didn't want the services, that's when everybody started becoming very suspicious. Why don't you want services there? How come you don't want people to prevent it? And this one white male that stood there, because everybody basically at the Capitol, white males, right? He stood there and started telling them, no, go into the Capitol. And none of us knew who he was. None of us knew who this man was.
So not an officer, just a person.
It was a person. Yes.
So why do you think all of those people though went in there and behaved the way that they did though once they got in there and after they?
The thing was so ironic. It could have been much worse. What happened was one guy went into Nancy Pelosi's office and sat down, was throwing stuff and acting like a nut.
Yeah, I heard about that.
On. He was, they weren't fighting.
Right.
It was like intentional that they do bad things, like shoot each other or whatever. It was intentional. There was no policing. No policing.
I don't think they normally have a lot of police though in that area,
but when you have 300,000 people knowing that we're mega people and you're not going to have any kind of I guess of policing or anything else around the Capitol, nothing.
I don't know. I was down at Art all night this weekend, and there were like thousands and thousands of people.
They
were artists, so they were probably unruly a little bit.
Yeah, but they were artsy fartsy. They weren't. Yeah. They weren't mega people who were. They were people who would get ready. Who wanted to fight. It was a different ballgame. They're not the same construct.
And he said, "What about the people scaling the walls? Why were the people scaling the walls?" So,
and let me just say this: no matter what one says or does or believes or don't believe, at the end of the day, I know that there was a setup. She should have had all of the. Nancy Pelosi's in head of the Capitol at that time. She had all sorts of capacities to get this under control.
To have the proper security.
Yes, everything. Okay. And it wasn't done intentionally.
So tell me, how have you addressed any unique challenges that you may have faced during your time, well, your whole career, I guess, from either side of the spectrum in a political realm?
First, I'm going to tell everybody so everybody will know I'm an AKA.
Okay, shout out to the AKA.
Okay, well, not only
a shout out, nine, right?
She is my sorority sister, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
And subsequently, in terms of me and my feelings, this is not about feelings. It's about moving forward in history and time. This is not. We've always had a two-party system. Are we saying we only want one? Does that mean we want to be a socialist communist construct? I don't think so. So subsequently, we have to find common ground, a place where we can meet, even though A, I don't want to be on this side, and B, I don't want to be on that one. Right. But that's what wars are like. Do we want to be at war with each other? I mean, we're in 2 wars right now, and they can't be resolved at this point.
Right.
They haven't been resolved. They're not being resolved.
Right.
In fact, they're escalating. So why are they trying to dismantle the other party, my party, the Republican Party? We have to have 2-party system, or we only have one. Which one do we want?
Wait, so people are trying to disband?
Yes. Well, their goal is that's their goal. They want to be socialist communists wrapped in a democracy. They want to be Marxist socialist communists wrapped in a democracy. They want to control us, not just Black people, but us
as a people.
They're trying to control us now. They always tried to control us. They've been trying to control Black people since time immemorial. Now they want to reach out. They don't want Latinos a certain way. They don't want Arabs a certain way. And they don't want Jews a certain. You know what I mean? They're trying to make it so it's a one-party system.
I think that people will always have it. There'll always be a situation where people don't have the patience or the open-mindedness that you should have automatically for other people, just as people exist. I mean, that's just as mankind.
Period. Yeah, they.
But quick question. So, as an AKA, right? As a fellow AKA, how is it, or how have your conversations been? Because I know you've had conversations with other people who are sisters in your sorority, and what takes have you been getting?
I haven't really. I'm not as active in my sorority as I am in my politics.
Mm-hmm.
So I when people come to me and ask me certain questions, if it's valid, I answer. If it isn't valid and it's kind of like nutsy, I just stand down and I just look at them like, I'm not gonna even go there with you.
I'm sure you get both.
Yeah.
What's the craziest political question anybody's ever asked you?
Why are you a Republican?
That's the craziest question?
That is one of the. Yes, they want me to kind of be like them, and they don't understand why I'm not like that, or why I'm not thinking like they're thinking. And I'm like, because I'm an individual,
right?
Like we used to pick cotton, but now we don't do that in the plantation anymore.
Now we have options. Huh? So you've never had anybody accuse you of like self-hatred or anything like that? Yeah, for being a Republican. You've never heard that?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm so sincere.
No, you can't be.
No, because there are people that think that Trump hates Black people. You've heard that before, haven't you?
No.
You've never heard that Trump hates Black people.
No, because it's not real.
But you've never heard people
Where'd you
say
get
it?
it from?
I've heard of the Easter Bunny. Guess who else isn't real?
Well, I'm just saying that's like Santa Claus to me.
Right, you've heard of him too.
Yeah, I've heard of Santa Claus, but Donald,
You've never heard anybody say that.
You're talking to the person who is on Donald Trump's campaign in 2016 and 2024 and 2020.
And
you're
what
talking
do you
about
say to those people that say that he's racist, and how do you support somebody who doesn't like Black people?
If they didn't like Black people, why am I here? Why am I on his team?
Well,
does he just likes me only?
Hold on. Somebody said, I don't believe that because Republicans are supporting Project 2025. What are your thoughts?
That was the construct from the Heritage Foundation, and we ixnayed that as soon as he started coming into making sure that he was going to run for president. We actually had the 2025 people come to an event that we were all at. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we listened. And then Donald Trump said, listen, this is crap. And we threw it all out the window. And it comes from the Heritage Foundation and not from MEKA.
So you're saying Project 2025 has already been canceled, in other words.
Ixnay, burned. How about that? Not just canceled.
Okay, and so where can people find more information on that? Because that seems to be a very big topic.
You can just call the Heritage Foundation and ask them for their old stuff. I'm sure it's burned to the ground. But you can just call them and ask them. They're the ones that made the construct.
Like that. Okay, awesome. Mm-hmm. All right, so we also, tell me what, in your opinion, flat out makes Trump the better candidate for 2024?
I love my sorority sister. She's wonderful. But she's not ready to be president.
Why do you say that?
Because they have been, the Harris-Biden team has been at the head of our system for the last 3.5 years, and they haven't fixed anything. In fact, the wars are escalating. And for Black people, we're getting even worse. We're getting less and less. But first, we just had a half a cookie. Now we only have a fourth. Pretty soon we're going to have no cookies.
Well, I do like cookies.
Yeah.
But so tell me, what were your thoughts after the debate?
Which one?
The presidential debate and then the vice presidential debate.
I told people in the Trump campaign that you can't win this. You don't need to underestimate anybody. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. And therefore, I felt as though he did a good job, but he could have been better. Mm-hmm. That he, in my view, thought that they underestimated her capacity and capability. Let me tell you what I tell everybody. I say, listen, Kamala has a superpower. People say, well, what is that?
Right.
She's got a black body and 7 exceptionally rich white males and Jews and the media that's training her up here. So she has this superpower. Blacks are going to vote for her, and they are this other group, the other 7, the super 7, is training her. That's her superpower. She has a dual capacity. One for money and intellect, and the other one for people who run the vote for her no matter what.
Okay.
That's the superpower.
I can agree with that. Somebody said, and she's smart. And
Mm-hmm.
you said intellect as well. So I'll give you that definitely.
Yeah.
So how about after the vice presidential debate? What were your thoughts?
I think Vance just ran all over walls. I think he just okay. This is one thing I tell everybody. You know, Vance came from the ghetto, right? He came from the white ghetto, which is Appalachia. His mother was a crack addict. She lived on the floor in the street, and he was taken away from her. And the grandmother was really old, and it was on food stamps, didn't have any shoes, all the things that we go through. So the ghetto, the barrio, and Appalachia are all same. They have the same issue or problem. He, on the other hand, went into the military when he was really young, and he didn't know that he was as smart as he was. He didn't know it. He came from nothing. Okay. I mean, he had to step over his mom in the street. He came from nothing and managed to pull himself up by the bootstrap, and he got into Yale, and he was basically the #1 person in the Yale Law School. Okay. Then he wrote a book called Hillbillyology. And then they made a movie out of it. And then he got knowledge from that. Then he started business, and he made his business prosper. And he is now running for vice president. He's articulate. He is on point. He understands poverty. He lived it. He knows what it's like to have food stamps and no food, no milk, and the water is cut off. And he knows all those things. And he knows how to fix this system because he was brought up in it. And I think that he did a great job with the debate. I really do.
I do think that he did a good job with the debate. What do you think about the fact that about what President Trump said about the whole the lack of importance about the vice presidential position previously, not now, but what he said previously
when Vivek wanted to be in it, and Nikki Haley and all of those. Well, you know, it was so many people who wanted to be in this role. Mike Pence, it just went a step too far. Everybody wanted to, be in it, but he can only pick one, and he picked the person that had the most to lose and gain, who knew more about America than they did. He just knew more. So even though Donald Trump says things and I say things too that may not be so good, we're only human. We're going to make mistakes.
Good point. That's a very good point. So tell me, what is the first step for somebody who is interested in getting into politics or getting into, getting more active in the political field, if not necessarily becoming an elected official?
But
either side, yeah.
Well, of course, I'm not going to. I'm biased.
Even if you want to be a Democrat,
I don't know. I'm not right. I don't know.
Well, then only conservative. How would they get into the
the thing is that basically you would contact me if you're African American or if you're a person of color or POC or female, whatever the case may be, and I will give you an opportunity to come to some of the things that you can see what we're doing, how we're doing it, what you think, ask questions, tell us stuff. And help us get out the vote. We will help you to train you on how to do certain things, to understand what to read and what to look at, and take your time and understand it.
So where can they reach you? Where can people contact you?
Yeah, they can contact me on my email, Delores, DOLORES.
At the bottom here in the banner. Go ahead. You can spell it to them.
DOLORES, then another S. BAN @gmail.com.
And so I added that into the ticker here in case anybody wants to reach out to, get any additional information or get in. It does, of course, want to get into politics and is interested in joining the field, especially if you are conservative. I'm sure Delores will give you some type of direction if you aren't. Because the most important part is that you're making a difference and that you're making an impact.
Go to hold Hunter bite.
So I would like you also to give me some final thoughts. As you know, my conversations are lavish conversations. I call them lavish conversations with inspiring people like yourself on why existing is not enough. So day to day, you wake up, you have the option to live or just exist. And the difference is, in that decision. So what can you say to my viewers who wake up each morning in order to encourage them a little bit about living versus existing out here in this world?
Never give up.
Never give up.
Never give up. You're gonna have knocks. You're gonna have knocks.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have people trying to pull you down. You just brush yourself off and keep moving forward and never give up.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So how do they never give up?
Keep moving forward. Organize the plan.
Mm-hmm.
The 3-point plan.
Okay.
And every day say to yourself, yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Before you go to bed, yes, I can. Look at yourself in the mirror. Yes, I can.
Mm-hmm.
I can be a better person. I can be a better father. I can be a better daughter. I can be a better educated person. I can make myself move out of the ghetto to teach and help other people. I can be a teacher. I can move forward. Yes, I can.
Yes, I love that. Definitely. I'm all about positive encouragement and definitely speaking power over into yourself. That's the most important thing in the world.
Yeah.
So I'd like to thank you again for coming out to talk to
so
my viewers. Thank you for being a guest. It's been awesome.
You've been awesome too.
I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in the chat. Let me make sure we don't have any additional questions before we check out. I believe we got everybody. But thank you all for tuning in. We're going to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, who is the Fort Lauderdale Fiesta, but we are having the Reyes 2024 Adult Prom. It's going to be October 13th at the Omni Shoreham Hotel. Tickets are on sale. We do have some tables still available as well. It's going to be a beautiful event. Make sure you have your best out, and that's the best that you have. So if you don't have, necessarily a tux, you don't necessarily have to wear a tux, but, still put it together. And ladies, of course, I know you'll be killing them. Everybody, I want to make sure that you're aware of our promo that we're also having. Post your prom pictures and your throwback prom pictures, of course, with the hashtag Rose Prom 2024, or sorry, it's Rose Adult Prom. So post your throwback prom pics with the hashtag Rose Adult Prom. And we will be selecting a winner, and I'll be doing a giveaway. So I look forward to seeing your pictures. Even though mine wasn't the best ever, I'll post mine as well. And here's our quick little promo of some of the people that'll be performing and all of the great stuff we get to see.
When I walk through, when I walk through, when I walk through, when I walk through, I got sauce too, came with the gang, chopper rain, get her up, shine. When I walk through, 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 I got sauce too, came with the gang, chopper rain, get her up, shine. When I walk through, 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 I got sauce too, came with the